Slain is a retro-inspired game that, like Shovel Knight before it, makes a great first impression. The 16-bit styled pixel art graphics reek of a beautiful SNES game, but where Shovel Knight refines and improves on the formula of the past, Slain refuses to do almost anything to justify its 2016 existence. I had heard from more than one person that this was the game I should play if I was looking for a new 2D Castlevania game. And I mean, who isn't? But let's get something straight. Despite our character's ability to backslide with a single button press, there are zero similarities to Castlevania, pre or post Symphony of the Night. And that shouldn't be a negative. Slain should be able to stand on its own 2 feet, but ultimately, it just can't, and it ended up being one of my biggest disappointments of the year. Let's start with the combat. Mashing square will let you do a 3-hit combo. Triangle is your block button, and R1 will throw a fireball. Combos are seldom effective though, and you'll often find yourself doing a single attack, then backsliding, attack, retreat, attack, retreat. That's the process over and over until the enemy is dead. It gets old really fast, especially when even the easiest enemies on the very first stage take multiple hits to kill. If you time your blocks right, you can trigger a pretty awesome counterattack that looks pretty spectacular, but isn't ever powerful enough to warrant the risk of blocking over retreating. And that fireball I mentioned, again, it's so underpowered that you might often forget you even have the ability. In Slain, you're supposed to be a badass, but you never feel like a powerful one. As you progress, you'd expect to gain abilities, double jumps, bigger health bars, magic bars, stronger attacks, but you'll get none of that. Instead, you'll end up with a fire and ice sword switching mechanic that only reminds me of why I hated Crystallis on the NES. And if you get that reference, 5 points to you. Add to all of that uneven difficulty spikes, easy bosses, frustrating level design, stupid checkpoint placements, and traps in the environment that are only there to make you feel dumb. And what you're left with is a game that's just no fun to play. I had read that Slain was about 3 to 5 hours long. I lasted for 4. I think I'm on the last level, but I have no desire to ever pick this game up for another hour to complete it. And I think that fact says more about a game than any specific complaint ever could.